journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, and where better to have it than Oxfordshire, with a city of firsts, the first public museum, the first coffee shop in Britain, and the first to learn about the power of penicillin. You can learn much more about Oxford and support this channel with my book, What to Do in Oxford, an imagination tour, link in the description. Oxford is now able to claim another first. A party dedicated to rejoining the EU has won an election in the county. But is this a first step? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This election has even caused the Brexiteer paper The Express to write about it in an article stating, "Rejoin EU Party wins in council election with powerful anti-Brexit message." The party's chairman Andy Smith became a parish councillor, which might not seem much, but wait to the end of the video and you'll see the statistics. The Rejoin EU Party was established in January 2020, 6 years after Brexit. The party is promising to have a dramatic influence on British politics and to promote its powerful pro-EU message. The party had stood before in other elections, including the Mayor of London election, and it won 40,000 votes from the first section of voting, and it also had a total of 100,000 votes in first and second votes. And it plans to follow a similar structure to that of UKIP, by forcing Westminster to accept that rejoining the EU could be part of Britain's future. Mr. Smith was actually extremely humble in what he said about attaining some political power, and explained that the win is a clear sign that many people in Britain are still in favour of EU membership. In The Express he was quoted as saying, "We wanted to see how the Rejoin EU Party's brand would play in an area that is slightly in favour of the Remain campaign. I wanted us to be clear about that on the ballot. The victory has given us a real boost. I got about 44% of the vote, which indicates that rejoining the EU is not a poisoned chalice. In fact, it can actually attract a large percentage of the electorate. We have a particularly successful victory with the election result, and it shows that rejoining the EU is a powerful message." He went on to say that we are very aware of how UKIP was built. They've never got elected to Westminster, but they define government policy. You don't have to win seats to influence national politics. He added that he had actually been congratulated by a number of Lib Dem members who are in favour of Britain rejoining the EU. Once the result had been confirmed, Richard Hewison, the Rejoin EU Party leader, shared the news on Twitter with his followers saying, "I am delighted that the first councillor in the UK to be elected on a Rejoin EU banner occurred yesterday. Many congrats to Andy Smith." And it's interesting as well because Labour don't seem to be wanting to move in the direction of rejoining the EU. In fact, Keir Starmer repeatedly said no in an interview recently.
Do you rule it out then, returning to the single market in your lifetime?
We're not going back. We're not going back into the EU, not going back into the single market, customs union or freedom of movement. We're moving forward with my 5-point plan.
So in your lifetime and my lifetime, we're never going back into the European Union.
Beth, we're going forwards, not backwards.
An interesting term there. We're not going backwards, we're going forwards. Yet for a lot of people out there, going and doing Brexit was a step back into the past, to be isolationist, to not involve ourselves with European politics. That, for many, is going backwards. And interestingly, the Rejoin EU Party, its slogan, is back to the future. Our future being in Europe.
We're not reopening those divisions. I've ruled it out, I think, 3 times in this interview. Okay. This is not about rejoining the EU, it's not about going back into the single market or the customs union, and it's not about bringing back freedom of movement. It's going forward, so these are steps for the future, sorting out the protocol in Northern Ireland.
Which cannot be sorted out unless we rejoin the EU, because you're always going to have trade barriers either in the Irish Sea or on the border of Ireland.
Removing trade barriers that are hindering businesses.
Which you can only do if you rejoin the EU.
Sorting out mutual recognition when it comes to services, a much better set of security arrangements, which I'm obviously, having been 5 years as Director of Public Prosecution, very keen to see that, but also about investing here in Britain. So it's a forward-looking plan, it's not about going backward.
Yet those last 3 points were all about having better relations with the EU. Interesting that. And it's interesting what you can find on Twitter because people are pretty upset about it. There's no one to vote for some. Starmer's position, however rationalised in electoral terms, offers nothing to voters like me, because it continues to deny those consequences of Brexit for which there are no easy fixes. Doubling down on a bad decision won't help us address it. As for the results in Oxfordshire, how many did Andy get? Well, we stated there were 3 vacant seats, and there was an electorate of 2,779. They issued 734 ballot papers, the turnout was 26.4%, so Rejoin EU and Andy Smith won a seat by getting 325 votes, and that's 44%. Yes, that's correct, 44%. Almost enough, if done in a general election, to form a government in Parliament. As usual, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please hit that like and subscribe button. It's free and it helps the channel grow, allowing me to make more programs like this. On top of that, thank you so much to my Patreon and YouTube supporters who help the channel grow and keep on going. And then on a final thought, what do you guys think? Do we get oaks from little acorns? Thanks for listening.